All right, let's get started. What screen am I on? There we go. Welcome everyone. I hope everyone's going well. All right, let's get started today. So what we want to do is we want to continue with the two-factor. So I'm just going to jump in. I'm just going to start this up. I've forgotten what we needed to do, hence I write the to-do, add profile information, two-factor URLs, which I think we're doing. We're just going to test out everything is working perfectly fine. And then fix the templates for the profile information two-factor. All right, sweet. And then we had another one. If I minimize everything, I reopen up this. I click on this because I should have my secondary screen open. Sorry. There we go, getting that up. And Matt Bird Quests, how are you going? Welcome back. So hopefully you've been going well. My stream manager is screwing up just a little bit. Bear with me, sorry. Create a dashboard. I am live, so stream manager. There we go. All right. You're good? You have questions? Hopefully I have answers. So ask away. There was also something else I needed to get done. Have you seen X Framework before? Like... Framework X, simple and fast. PHP? No. No, I have not. Oh. Okay. Oh, that one. Oh. I forgot about the chat rules. But hey, there is actually Framework X. Yeah. Not allowed to, yes, yeah, because that just starts up a bunch of little fights and stuff like that. So I'm not the only one with that rule. I kind of nicked that rule from Chris Griffin. Because yeah, he would have people who would just have fights about it and I'd be like, no. So yeah. All right, I've got the two-factor open. I also needed this one open because I think I had more to-dos in it. Actually, I don't. The reCAPTCHA stuff. I forgot to do that on the weekend. Whoops. All right, that is my bad. Okay, not a problem. I know that there's an ad coming in any second now. I just don't use frameworks. It makes people not talk about them. Fair enough. I use quite a lot, actually. So I use the .NET framework. Umbraco is the CMS that's built on top of it. I've used Laravel. I've used Django. I've used Vue, React, Angular. So yeah. If they do, I just say I don't like frameworks and they stop. Fair enough. I'm always excited to play with a new framework when I have a new project. That's the thing. That's the caveat with that whole entire thing. All right, so we've got a bunch of to-dos. Oh, an ad just started. All right, ad time. I could neaten up my hair. We've got Socks here. She's a bit grumpy today. She's been bumping into Paddy. Though Paddy just stays his distance. He's like, yeah, whatever, I just need to go to the bathroom. So, yeah, she's very grumpy. Aren't you? She's like, no, it's not my fault. Someone had a cat. It was my place. Yeah. Alright. I've got to bring up the local host. There we go. We've got about 30 seconds left of the ad. So I'll get back here. Yeah, that's it. Alright, about 14 seconds left. Okay, I can't do anything with this at the moment. But yeah, anyway, sorry, that all got me at the last second. I was made to use React once, hated it. Oh, fair enough, fair enough. I don't mind React. I think it's slowly clicking with me how it sort of is fundamentally meant to work. However, the only reason why I prefer Vue is because I just know it. And that's it. It's not really strong case against anything else. Then again, if I need to learn React like heavily, I'm happy to do that. All right, cool. I am just solving this cube very quickly. There we go. We also have Socks back again. She went to her bed, so I'll flip the camera up and then she's come back. And it's just like, I don't know why you do that, Socks. You keep doing that. So the thing that we need to do is we need to just double check so we're happy with this working. So if I do a token generator, I'm just gonna test this out. I've got to, just in case. Oh. All right. All right. So that worked a treat. The QR code works. Once again, we're going to format these pages and stuff like that so that they look really nice. That won't be a problem. We're just editing the templates and stuff like that. Solving a simple problem that took me no time with no libraries felt like punching a brick wall for hours. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, I use a bit of React for my WordPress sites because a lot of the custom plugins that I can build sort of have React as their... WordPress has chosen React as their sort of framework to use. So when you're building a custom plugin, it comes bundled with it. So that's where I use it. Yeah. All right, so what I want to do is I want to format this page so it looks nice. So first things first, let's minimize everything. We've got everything open that we need. We know that the show codes, that all works. It's just this disable the two-factor doesn't quite work. Sorry, I need a new keyboard soon. This one's slowly dying. So to the left, I'm just gonna hit reload. So it seemed to all work perfectly fine. Okay, cool. It might be a case that we've not enabled the correct template here. We just need to find it and actually deal with it. Won't be too much of a problem. So we're leaving this to-do in. Authentication. I can close. The two-factor views. Add in the profile info to... Okay, so we've done that one, which we're happy with. And fix the templates. We're currently doing this one. So I'm just going to close everything else, close other tabs. It's just going to be easier if we focus on one thing at a time. We're going to go into NearBeach. We're going to go into our templates. We're going to go into our two-factor. And we've got our core. We don't have a delete wizard in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go GitHub Django two-factor auth. We're actually going to look at the source code. So we've got the two-factor. Not the views, sorry, the templates, two-factor. We've got the core, we've got the... we're missing all of this. So we do need the disable in here. So I'm just going to not do that. Sorry, I was meant to click on raw. We want a folder called profile. And then we want a new file called disable.html. And then we're pasting this in. Now this is the base focus. This is not what we want anymore. We just want the base. Alright, so... And all of this should work straight away because... Hey, there we go. And we're just going to make this looking really nice, and then we click yes, and then we go disabled, and it's done. Now, the redirect for the profile stuff. Because I kind of want... Yes, socks. Yes. Sorry, I'm just having a good think here. And it's one of those things where we're slowly putting this in, but we've got to shuffle it around a little bit more. So I've been thinking, we've got this account security stuff. We could actually add this onto the profile page itself. And then when they go into this, they then go through the wizard. Actually, I'm going to use email because the email worked perfectly fine. I need to go to mailtrap.io. We get our one-time password. I'm just going to delete all of those. Oh, cancel. Because I just realized I used the wrong shortcut. I'm using Mac shortcut there. Alright. Getting back into this, I pasted in. We need to fix this congratulations. Yeah. I have a feeling once I implement this could easily be implemented into the profile views. Might be one of those things I think about over a little time. So what I could do is I could style this all very, very quickly, get it all, because it's working perfectly fine, I can get this to work, and then I can go in, log a couple of bug sort of fixes to be like, alright, cool, or tasks, move this, like this particular account security could be moved into the profile section and be like, all right, cool. All of this could be done with the views. We've got the URLs we can easily do. They're set in stone. So the disable one, we can be like, yep, all right, cool. Oh, we don't have a back in this sort of case. Which, hell, we could have that as popping up as a modal. Because if we go into here, and we inspect this, we've got a form method post. That goes into here. What we could potentially do is actually not have that sent. Give me a couple of seconds. What I want to do is I want to test something. I am going to open up Postman. Because it might be one of those things that I implement this and then as a second phase, improve it and move it out of the Django templates and stuff like that and into the Vue templates so I have control over stuff. Because all we really need to do is send stuff to the backend, and we already know how to do that. We just need the shape. So I'm going to minimize all of this. This is the Django REST framework. What we want is we want a new workspace. It's going to be that one. OAuth testing. We're just going to delete that one. We just want a blank collection. And our collection is going to be called Django Random Tests, because we're going to probably fill something else in here. We're going to create a new folder in here. And we're going to go 2FA. Yeah, 2FA. And then I am going to not do anything else because I'm going to go over into here. I am going to persistent logs. I'm just going to hit disable. Yep. It fails like that. So we have a post request here. I'm going to right hand click. I am going to copy as curl. Alright, you might be wondering why you're doing that. Well, Postman has this little thing called this import thing where we can paste in that curl. And then we can go into here and we can import into collection. I'm going to move this into the 2FA and we're going to have a look at its structure. So the authorization inherit from parent. It's got a bunch of stuff. So it's got the cookie, it's got a bunch of stuff in its body. We've got the CSRF middleware token, which will automatically put into each of the Ajax calls that we actually do through Axios. The understand is on. And I think that's it. So if we have a look at the code, so I want to go back to two-factor. I want to have a look at VueJS. Don't you dare try and bang down that webcam. If we have a look at this and we look at the core, we've got the post. Oh, this might not be part of core. Now this goes back to this page. So I'm just going to enable two-factor again. It'll take me 2 seconds. It'll pop in here any second now. There we go. All right. Back to account security. Disable two-factor. Now that's part of disable. Now I'm going to get rid of persistent logs. I don't think it's part of here. Oh, this is set up view. Backup tokens, no. SAP complete, QR generation, no. All right. So I'm gonna search the code. Okay, no problem. Okay. Now, I don't know where in the code it hits and stuff like that, but I'm assuming that if I were to, let's say, right-hand click on this, inspect this, have a look at this, don't you dare sit on my keyboard, go over here, change this out, and I'll hit send. We've got a 200 OK. So if I go back to here, boom. All right. So this does change things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly set up all of this, and then I'm going to start in the near future, actually start improving this and moving it out from here and into the NearBeach proper, using proper components that I'll build. That way I can handle a lot of this, because I'm assuming with some of this, yeah, I'm assuming I can actually get quite a lot of this data anyway. And some of the stuff like this account security is just linking to URLs. And Waffles at AMD Syrup, how are you going? I'm just thinking out loud at the moment. So that's the only thing is the wizard, which we don't need the welcome page. This is just the method, in which case that is then generated like that. And I feel we could potentially do some of that. If I inspect that, oh wow, that's actually, okay, that could be useful. And then all I would need to do is test, and this could work perfectly fine on NearBeach. All right. I am liking this idea. The only thing about this is if I go back to here and I get rid of the setup, at that point, no, all right, cool. So if we go enter this and we go next and we hit email, it's already set up the two-factor, and then we just need a token. If I go cancel, which user is this? Admin user. And I log out and I go admin, I've got another token to sort of do. I'm going to delete those tokens. No, this is... Alright, I am going to go back to this. I'm going to go back. We're going to go admin. We're going to go next. It should send a token. Oh, that's a bug. All right. What's happened is it didn't, because it didn't validate, but it still has everything in there. Now, if I log out and I go admin, and I go next, will it actually send me another token? Yes, it will. Alright, so not exactly a bug, but I'll have to notify users if they actually decide to log out or anything like that while setting this up. They'll need to use that initial token that is sent to them. So, yeah, not a problem. Okay. So, let's start formatting. Alright, hang on. Let's draw out what I mean by everything before I start going forward and stuff like that. So, plan of attack. Okay, this one's going to be easy. One. Complete the templates. And release. Okay. At the moment, I think it's perfectly fine having it as a minimal viable product. We've got a 1TP token and all that kind of stuff. We will need to actually do all the emails and stuff like that. However, we can get feedback on this process first. So 2, feedback. 3, feedback / pain points. 3, email templates. Unless we can do them tonight. And then 4, migrate to VueJS. Because a lot of it is just forms. Pretty simple and basic forms. And what we could do is set this up very, very quickly and easily. Yeah, we can do a lot better in VueJS. Because when someone clicks on the thing, we can just send them to the next step and saying, sending you an email. And then we get a response back from the back end being like, email sent. We can be like, all right, sweet, email has been sent. Please grab your token and place it into here. So, yeah. Doing that right now, I'm going to say no. Because we want to get it implemented, we want to find everyone's pain points, and we want to think about everyone's pain points when we're actually sort of fix all of this up. So yeah, I think getting the templates done means we've got a functioning 2-factor, and then yeah, we just got to start properly bug testing and stuff like that. Yeah. All right, I'm rambling. Let's get back into it. So if we go into 2-factor, let's go into profile information, 2-factor. We'll set up this screen. Because yeah, all of this could belong in the profile image area, but once again, I'm not going to do that tonight. That is going to be something that we will implement over time. Yeah, remember the 0.32 release, we're focusing on UI, UX and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah. All right, getting back into this, we've got the disabled. I am login setup. We've got like that. Let's do setup complete first. So with the setup complete, we won't need much in here. So we need the div class card. I just realized that's meant to be like that. We won't need much in here. We'll need the header one. I'm just disabling this first, because what we want to do is we want to go profile information, two-factor setup. We just want to go, yep, I'm just going to do email. We'll get the email. Easy done. All right. So we got this horrible looking thing. That's perfectly fine. Cool. We'll deal with this. So if not phone methods, and if we don't need that because we won't need any of that. Oh, hang on. All right. Okay, I'm just going to use my account again. So I'm going to scan the QR code. We're going to go next. We're going to go token generator. It's perfectly fine that you guys see this very, very quickly. I'm just going to delete all of this. All right. Okay, cool. It's not like that anymore. And now I am all right, sweet. So we got this. We won't need any of this. So it's just going to be very simple. This. And we'll clean this up very, very quickly. So we've got this. Easy done. I know there's another ad coming very, very shortly. All right. All right. No, I get this. So I need to open up local. I need to open up settings. We go all the way down. Okay. What we need to do. I think we need to do that. Okay, ad time. Welcome back to the ads. For those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch, so people get ads when they actually join the channel. So, yeah. You guys don't get ads, so don't worry about it. Just relax. You get to see me solve a Rubik's Cube. If I remember what color's on the top, it's going to be green. And we have our grumpy socks. Why are you so grumpy at the moment? No, it's fine. He's fine. Hey, buddy. So, new cat, Patty has met Socks, and she's not happy. If you guys can hear her at. So, hopefully I won't have to get up to a screaming match during the stream. So, whoa, Socks. And she just decided to jump and skid all over my desk. So, yeah. It's a bundle of entertainment here, guys. Bundle of entertainment. You know, you've got one cat who's fussy, the other cat who's like, you know what, I just want to see what's going on. So, yeah, hopefully she's coming down a little bit. So, I'm hoping when I can leave them alone. So, yeah. Alright, and welcome back, everyone. Okay. So I've just gone back to profile information. We could go two-factor profile. But I don't think that will work. Which is why I'm going back to profile information. Easy done. All we need to do is on this page, because it's a Django page, we just need to refresh. That does not look very Django-esque at all. We need to override a few things to get this to work. Oh, and we haven't put in the card body or anything like that. Yeah, I've done something silly. So up here we got the card, and then we've got the div class card body. Easy done. Done. So we got the card body, then we got the head. We need a HR after the head, like so. And then yeah, usually we have a div class row and keep all of these things in proper sort of order. So div class equals row. Easy done. I'm just going to delete that. In this sort of case, we'll have a div class equals md12. It doesn't really matter. We're going to delete that. We're going to shift this. We're going to bang those up there. All right. Cool. So, I don't know where I'm going. There we go. There. Perfect. I might... I like that better. And if I go into dark theme, we don't have dark theme on this yet. So we've got to fix that very, very quickly. Once again, I'm not going to spend ages on this, because I know I could put this on view and get this wizard running within the user profile itself. It's just a bunch of endpoints that I've just got to call. That shouldn't be too hard to actually do. Yeah. Okay, and I could think about doing it with the API. Don't know if that's a smart idea though. Something's telling me no. That's not probably a smart idea. Alright. And then yeah, this should be behind decorators, making sure the user's logged in and all that kind of stuff. Alright, cool, sweet. So, let's get this working. It's gonna click off the setup one. Now, we are passing this through. We do have a two-factor setup view. I'm just gonna have a look at the URLs. So under NearBeach, we've got our URLs, and up the top we've got the TF URLs. We've got the URL patterns from. All right, sweet. Sorry, yeah, this is how I had to set it up. So we've got two-factor setup, two-factor. All right, cool. That's importing that, and then we've got QR code which is from the QR generator as a view. Okay. Yep. Once again, these are just endpoints that I will need to actually set up when I actually do move this into NearBeach proper and all that kind of stuff. Not a problem. It's like one of those things where we'll be basing ourselves off a library and doing it properly. Okay. Set up complete view as view. Okay, cool. So, for starters, let's clean up this code. You might ask how we're going to tackle this. So, authentication, we've got the two-factor setup view there. We're going to do the exact same thing. So, if you have a look down here, setup complete as view. Under two-factor view, we've got this. We're going to do, pretty much the exact same thing. So, get setup complete view. Alright, and then I am I'll put that off to the side because we're going to copy pretty much everything. So from two-factor.views import setup view or setup complete view. And then from NearBeach.views.themeViews import get theme. And then it's a simple class, it's going to be called setup complete view, and then we can't name it that because it clashes. We need two-factor setup complete view. All right, so we need to rename this document. There you go. Then what we need is a diff in it. It'll be self with the quags passing through. We just need the super with the init with the quags, and then we need the def, the get context data self. Oh, all right. Now this won't have form, but I am passing the quags through just in case. So context equals super get context data. I'm going to have to look at the source code. So we're going to go back to the source code. I'm just clicking on a random one because we'll go to the views. Setup complete view. And thank you very much for this follow, spacekidbeat.com. Welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. So we've got a template name. We've got the def, context data, and it's just self. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of the quags. Because in this sort of case, we are only rendering out a view, context, and then theme. That will equal get theme, and then that will be self.request. That gets the data from there, and then we return context. And we're going to have a new line. So if we go into the URLs, we now have from.views.authentication.two-factor setup complete, two-factor setup complete. We can scroll down here and go two-factor setup complete as view. Then we can go into here, and if we hit refresh, done. Dark mode is in. Love yourself some Python and JavaScript? Well, you come to the right place. So NearBeach is built off Django, which is built off Python, and the front end of NearBeach is in VueJS. So yeah, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. We are implementing two-factor into NearBeach. Essentially, we're loosely plugging it in at the moment, so we're getting the functionality and all that kind of stuff. And then later down the track, what we're going to do is we're going to hijack a lot more of that functionality, and instead of doing how they do it, we're going to do it how we do it, and we're just going to call their endpoints. So yeah, shouldn't be a problem. Famous last words, though. So, yeah. Alright, so we've got two-factor this now done. If we go back to account security, now this will go back here. I will have a, I'm going to have a button in here, two-factor details. I'm going to have a quick button here, someone will click on it and stuff like that. But it'll go to here. So now we're just going to do this and fix this up here. Should be a problem. Once again, we just implement the template, and then I think we've got all the templates done. Yeah, I think we do. I'll move that off to the right so you guys can actually see this properly. Yeah, I think once that's done, I've got all the tokens we need, and then all I need to do is get the deployment ready. Yeah. So I'm just processing everything all at once. Okay, this can be done. So I'm just getting distracted with the cube. Alright, so yeah, let's get this page looking nice. And now with the account security, we're going to have to add in that context thing in here to get the dark mode working. Once again, it's pretty simple. We just expand what we've got. So we're going into our URLs. We are after the one that's like two-factor. So profile view as view. So we're going to hijack the profile view. So in here, we're going to go file two-factor profile view.py. We're going to add it in. So from two-factor.views import profile view, easy done. From NearBeach.views.theme views import get theme, easy done. And then we've got the class profile view, two-factor profile view. and we pass through profile view. We init like we always do. I don't think we need the quags. I think the other one we did. This one we don't need to. So we've got some def get context data. Oh, actually, you know what? Probably wants the quags. So we'll need to do def init self quags. I'm just having a look. All right. Yep. And this is just going to be the same 3 lines. Easy done. We're not worried about that. All right. Cool. Now I'm just double checking this. So we're going to go to the code and we're going to search for profile views. Profile view. We've got a profile.py. I should check in that. So we've got profile view, we've got the get context data. We are sending through the quags. All right, but not form. So we send through the quags. We get all the data we want. Yeah, and we're just passing through that. So we're extending what they've got. And then we just go to the 2-factor views. We cross this out. We go all the way up to the top. We go from .views.authentication dot 2-factor profile view, 2-factor profile view. All right, cool. I forgot what line it was. Oh, that was pretty close. I'm not gonna lie. 2-factor profile view as view. Easy done. And then if we go back into here and we hit refresh, we have dark mode. And it's just as simple as that. So yeah, extending these is not going to be a problem. Once again, when we get rid of this and actually have it all in VueJS, we can get rid of a lot of this code. And we're just handling the endpoints. And with those particular endpoints, we can handle it. So I'm just thinking of the bunch of different ways we can handle it. So, for example, I might want to limit down the URLs and stuff like that. So, for example, setup complete, we probably don't need. We can have a modal on the front page and stuff like that. So, yeah. And then what we could do is, yeah, I'm just trying to think of what else we could do. Okay, no problem. We'll figure this out. All right. We'll also need to do that for disable view too. Okay, no problem. We'll do that right now because it won't hurt. So from 2-factor dot views import disable view from NearBeach dot views dot authentication dot theme views get theme. Okay, so this will be class 2-factor disable view. It will be part of disable view. And then now I've got to look at the code once again, double check the code, stuff like that. So utilities. core. Sometimes it's just easier to go up here and go disable view. This is what we want. Disable view. Huh. Oh, it extends the form view. So what I want to do, check out the form view. Okay, maybe not. We're just going to do that. And then once again, it's just these 3 lines. We just go in, we go back, we paste them in, we get rid of the form. And then that should work with NearBeach. So if we go back into here and we go disable 2-factor, oh, maybe not. Oh wait, I need to do the URLs. All right, no problem. This is 50. Oh yeah, authentication. Sorry, I had 2-factor disable views. 2-factor disable views. 51 now. That will be that, and that will be 2-factor disable view dot as view. Perfect. All right. So it looks like in a couple of hours we will have this done. He's not there, Socks. Don't worry. He's not there to hunt you. Sorry, Socks is a little bit frantic still with the new cat. Alright, so now we just got to edit the templates. Because we're overriding all of those. We're passing through NearBeach stuff. We go NearBeach. We go and dance a little. Okay. All right, so not the views. We want templates. We want 2-factor. We want. Let's do the disable first. It's going to be quick and easy. Div class equals card, and then div class equals card body, and then what we want to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this will paste in like this. We're just laying everything out nicely. Easy done. And then what we want is a div class equals row. Div class equals col md8. That's really just a col actually. Just a col will work. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so. Whoops. It would have been quicker if I did that the other way. Form post. Oh. No. Okay. Sweet. We should have a cancel button. And that's going to be the best thing to put into here. So what I'm going to do outline. I don't think that will look nice, but we're playing around with it. So I'm going to hit refresh, disable two-factor. Yeah, that doesn't look nice. Because yeah, we've got the danger. And I feel, oops. I think that will work a lot better too. And definitely having a HR in here too. Or some sort of padding. We've got div class equals spacer. Which is just our generic sort of space. Cancel, go back to profile. All right. Just to stop any confusion on this particular page, I'm gonna write out everything. So cancel, go back to profile, disable two-factor authentication. So if I go cancel, go back to profile, that really should be a link. Like that. And there you go. If I click on that, boom, takes me away. So the next thing I want to do is I'm gonna have the reset password stuff down here. Now, in the future, we might actually change that from reset password to manage passwords, or manage, yeah, something like that. And deal with it like that. Yeah, there's a lot of work with the UI UX that I've got to do with NearBeach. All right. Add time again. So we're getting there. This will definitely come out tonight. We'll quickly also have a look at the bugs, see if we can fix any bugs and stuff like that. Oh, Socks is doing a little bleep. Alright, she's just doing a little bleep. Who's the bleepiest cat? Good girl. Alright, he's not there. Sorry, Socks was doing a little bleep. I'll have to show you guys. Alright, there we go. There's Socks' little bleep. It's only a little one, but you know. Okay. I'm just... ads are almost finished. Almost done. Oops. There we go. Okay, and welcome back, everyone. So, let's just quickly get rid of that cube. So... I'm going to change this from reset password to manage password, just because that makes sense at the moment. So we're going to go into source, JavaScript, components. Now, this might be one of those things that we just absolutely gut this particular component and rename it and stuff like that. We want components. We want, I think, users. And then we've got reset user password. Oh, no, this is under profiles because they're both two different things. Right? No. Oh, alright. Okay, I'm going to have to close everything. I'm going to have to figure this one out again. We're just going over here. We are just going to hit refresh. We are going to open up this. We're going to bump this to the left. So we've got reset user password. So reset user password, it is this one. But I've just realized also that this is used. Alright, oh, sorry. This is used by both the administration. So if we go into users in here, we go into this, we can actually reset the user password here and stuff like that. I don't think having two-factor in there is a smart idea, so I'm just going to put a link up here. So we've got theme preference and two-factor authentication. Manage to... Alright, cool. So we've got user information, we've got username, we've got user details. Got the wrong thing. We want profile information. Got all of this. Theme settings. Alright, cool. So what we want is a simple div class equals row. Div class equals col md4. We want our instructions to be over here. So strong two-factor authentication. And then p class equals text instructions. Click on manage two-factor authentication. Manage your two. As simple as that. I know that is just silly instructions and stuff like that. And then what we want, div class equals col md8. It's literally just going to be an anchor tag. So a ref equals profile information two-factor. And that's it. So we're going to wait just a little while, hit refresh. Oh, we'll need to actually set in the network to disable cache. There we go. So, oh, we definitely need a HR down at the bottom. Easy done. So, we've got two-factor authentication, click manage, and then you just click on that and it takes it here. We're almost done. We've got the show codes, back to account security. We've got the show codes to do, and the disabled's all done. In fact, I am going to change that disable. So we're going to minimize everything. We're going to open up this. We're going to open up the NearBeach. We're going to open up the templates. We're going to want to open up two-factor. We want to open up the disable. I am, instead of having the URL like this, we know what the URL is going to be. It is going to be like this. Actually, I think it's going to be like that. So, disable two-factor. We won't need that. Cool. Let's get this page all sorted. So to the right, what we want to do is we want to go and... So we've got account security. Oh, that's the backup tokens. Yeah, we're going to do that next. We'll fix that one up. Alright, looks like I don't have that template installed. Not a problem. What we're going to do, we're going to go up here, we're going to remove this, we're just going to paste this in, and we're just going to hit enter, and we know it's going to find something like that. No, so it's profile. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on raw. I'm just going to copy all of this. We're going to go over here. We're going to right hand click on that, and we're going to go profile.html. And we're just pasting it in. And we'll figure out what it does right about now. So we've got the block content. If default devices, primary method, if available, phone methods. So we can kill some of this. So yeah, let's go in. Let's account security, cool. Default devices. Alright, sweet, that's fine. That if statement. If available, your primary method is not available, we were able to send backup tokens to the phone number listed below. Once again, we're not using the phone. So we've got backup tokens. Yeah, we're going to put this in the NearBeach format. So the NearBeach format will... yeah, let's put this in the NearBeach format. So straight away, div class equals card, div class equals card body, and then straight off the bat, we're just going to yank this one line. We're just going to paste it in. We are just going to quickly do a lot of this. Just so it looks nice. BR, cool. And then what we want is we want a div class equals row, and then div class equals col md4. And I'm gonna yank that and paste it. However, I'm gonna put col md8 at the end. And then I'm just gonna so if default device, and then we want backup, and then we've got the else down here. All right, cool. So up here, how are we going to translate that? And that's not meant to be a BR, that's meant to be a HR. So I'm just going to put this in here. If default device. And then we're going to have an else. And then we're going to have an and if. And then this should be bumped up like this. So that's just one row of data. So that's 3, 6, 8. So I'm just going to paste that down here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this down here first. And then what we want to do do something like that. Pretty stock standard simple stuff. And then what we want to do, grab these 6. We're just going to paste them into here like that. I'm going to see how that looks first. That looks mighty fine. Yeah, getting there, slowly fixing things up, and yeah, it's at the moment it's about moving things around and getting it looking how we want it to look. Once again, when we move to the 032 branch, we'll heavily invest in actually changing how this actually flows on NearBeach. We'll have a look at the pain points and all that kind of stuff. But at the moment, we are just getting the feature into NearBeach. All right. Oh, sorry, my seat is hurting me. I'm just going to, once again, break these up like this. Just preference. Got something like this. We've got a button primary, and then we've got something like that. Now, at the very end, after the end ifs, we'll add in a HR, and then we'll add in a div class equals row, div class equals col md8, md12. And then we'll add in a simple href equals URL profile information. We'll add in classes also. So we'll add in a class equals btn outlined auto. Go back to profile information. Easy done. So we go back here. So yeah, go back to profile information, enable two-factor and all that kind of stuff. I like how this is looking. So the next step I've got to do is implement the rest of this. So I can get rid of that. What I can do, I'm just going to cut that out. And I'm going to paste it up here as reference. And we're going to move it. And we're going to move it in slowly. So we don't need that, nor do we need that. Primary method, and then primary. Yeah, that's a... I'm just going to, socks, be careful. I'm just going to go down here. I'm just going to go, all right, cool, strong primary method. We're going to leave it like that. All right, and then down here, we don't need these p tags because it'll be all in this div. I do want to certainly do that. Sorry, Socks' head is in the way. So the next thing we want to handle is the backup tokens. So that will be the next block. So 17 to 27. Hang on, come on, 15. 17 to 27. Thank you. We're just going to build this up very, very quickly. So div class equals row, and then we've got a div class equals col md8, md4. We'll fill that information out in a second. Div class equals col md8. We're then just going to paste that in like that, and we'll deal with this in a second. Let's go strong. Let's call this, what, backup tokens. And then I'm going to, yeah, put backup. No, I'm going to hate that. Yeah, I'm going to hate that. All right. Sorry, I'm just tossing up where to put this bit of data, and I think I'm going to need to actually view it. So let's just view it. Let's go this, let's go that, let's go email, because it'll send it over here. It'll be quick and easy. I just need to copy this. I need to just go into here. I just need to paste it. I'm going to go next. And then back to account security. That just goes back there. That's perfectly fine. And thank you very much, Burrito VA, for the follow. Welcome, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content as I figure this out. So, yeah. Okay, disable two-factor. Alright, cool. The disable two-factor stuff will move into the proper place in a second. Was that from Ghost Stories? Yes, it is. I do cut off a particular response to it, but I do love that little character and their little cheerful laugh. So, yes. Alright, so that will be fine. So, yes, we all know what the word is. We're not going to say it. I think this will be fine here like this. Primary method I might do as strong, but oh wait, that's the row above. This is backup tokens. Primary method. Oh, I need a HR in there. Alright, not a problem. The English stuff was so much fun. I know. I know. Holy hell, when did I found it and it was awesome. It was completely and utterly awesome. It's just a pity that getting the DVDs in Australia are extremely expensive. Oh, $60. Alright, no, let's come down. Playback region 1. This will not play on most DVD players sold in Australia. However, I do have a PC with a DVD reader in it. I'm pretty sure it'll be able to read it. But yeah. For those wondering, Ghost Stories is a little unhinged. Let's just say that. I pulled an all-nighter and my code in Atom did... Oh no! So a little over 400 lines of... Holy hell! I'm sorry that happened. That sucks. Absolutely sucks. That is... Ugh. It's... I'm sorry to hear that. That absolutely sucks. Is it something you can get back quickly, or is it one of those things that was overly complicated? Like, it was a complicated 400 lines of code. Alright, so I'll put that in there. Like, what I'm doing right now, there's going to be a lot of line of code, but it's not going to be complicated. Okay, so what I want to do, HR, div class equals, this will be a row, div class equals col md4. We'll fill that out in a second. Div class equals col md8. I'm going to paste in what we've just done. And in here, I'm going to go strong, disable two-factor authentication. Okay, it wasn't super complicated, just annoying to do, and boy, do I make a lot of spaghetti code. Fair enough. I try not to make spaghetti code as best as possible. At the moment, a lot of people will be like, yeah, this is a little bit crazy. But I'm like, yeah. Alright, I'm going to keep these in. I'm going to quickly just neaten this up. Alright, socks. Yep. Alright, that's as neat as I'll get it. How did you learn to code? Alright, cool. So, this is a bit of a story. When I was 10, I learned BASIC. So I had a calculator, a programming calculator that looked like this here. So I had one actually very similar to that for ages. Very, very similar. Then when I went to uni, so when I was like 19, I went to uni and I learned maths. There I learned C, MATLAB, and Maple. And then whilst also at uni, I got a job. And I was doing a lot of C++ with the Qt framework. Easy done. And then I got a job after uni and I learned Python to do a lot of web scraping and stuff like that. And then from there I got into web development, and then I learned a lot more different languages and stuff like that. So I'm constantly learning. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they were fun. They were a lot of fun. I got it for $2. So, yeah. No, don't worry about the long road. Remember, I took a couple of winding paths. So I got a degree in mathematics. I became a data scientist out of uni. I worked at a university. I then ended up in IT, which was probably a position I should never have gone to, in the sense that I absolutely hated it, and was working on supporting a web application. And however, that being said, that web application gave me the idea of why does this not work? And I learned web development to figure it out. So yeah, learned C# and Python, and I'm only so at each. Don't worry about it, it just takes time. If you got a willingness to learn, you've got a willingness to learn how to get better, and it's just time. If we look at code, all right, we're doing this. So there is some old code in NearBeach. We're going to go back quite a number of pages. So we're going back to August 2020. Yeah, August 2020. I essentially realized NearBeach was getting mangled and it was just getting too far out there. It got to the point where I was like, okay, cool, I'll delete the code. I only deleted 95% of the code, where I should have deleted 100% of the code. And it's just because at that particular point I had learned quite a lot in web development that I was like, you know what, I can write this better. So this is a very, very long time ago. Very, very long time ago. Okay, I think it was this branch. Oh, no, that's still in... Oh, that's September. This is the month before. Alright, so yeah, it's around about here. Can I view the source from this? I can't. Can I get to the... There. Alright. Ads in progress. So I don't know if you got ads or not. Anyway, for those on YouTube wondering what's going on Twitch we run ads every half an hour, so those who join the channel do not get ads, but you guys don't get ads, so you guys get to see me. And for those on Twitch wondering, hang on a minute, I don't have ads, there's a number of reasons why you don't have ads, and that's perfectly fine too. Don't worry about any of that. But I tend to do this whilst the ads are going on, so no one misses out on any content. So yeah. We're about 10 seconds off for the ads to be finished. Okay. And welcome back, everyone. So, continuing on. You learned yours from YouTube and Reddit. That's perfectly fine. Those are great sources. We also recommend Free Code Camp and stuff like that. YouTube is a great source. Reading blogs and reading documentation is also good. Sure, ChatGPT is also a tool that you can use. However, just remember it is a tool and it does hallucinate. So, yes. Anyway, if we go back to this, talking about terrible code and not knowing how to code and stuff like that. This is NearBeach early on. This is NearBeach just before I deleted everything. I didn't know how to structure everything and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we've got this one particular file that just keeps going on and on and on and on and on, and it keeps going on and on and on. And this file is just, it's 10,000 lines long. That is terrible. And the fact that a lot of this I've also condensed nowadays. So, for example, we don't use the web links anymore. To-do list we've removed. Task remove customer. That is now, yeah, that's now done in a different way. It's just so much smaller and more condensed. But yeah, that it's just practice. It's just reading the documentation, seeing how other people do things. How can you sort of improve this? And yeah, learn to code as a hobby. Yeah, fair enough. That's what I did when I was 10 years old with Basic. Data scientist, be making bank. Yeah, yep. It depends where you work or who you work for. So yeah. Alright, so we got this. We got the primary method. Alright, so this looks like a NearBeach sort of layout and so forth like that. Once again, we will eventually get someone in to help us with UI UX. 10 lines I can only do as now 200 plus lines. Don't worry. A lot of that, if I show you how I've got it set up now, and remember this is when I sort of deleted all the code. There is a really good reason why I deleted all the code. This is now the views. So as you see, everything's sort of split up into its own sort of thing. And then we've got folders up here. So for example, we've got API views, and then there's folders under that to actually handle certain sort of stuff. We've got document views. So this one just handles the documents and so forth like that. So yeah. I didn't know I could do this back then. And then someone was like, oh, you should try and split up that. That will make it a lot easier for other developers and so forth. And I did. So, yeah. It took me 14 hours to write 400 lines of code. Don't worry. It will get... That time will increase the longer you program. It will soon take you 100 hours just to do 4 lines of code. It's all reading off each other's fault. Yeah. So it's just a new the structure which I picked, and so for example, you've got project views which handle everything, the CRUD around projects. You've got the profile views, the CRUD handling around the projects, and so forth like that. And where I can group some, so for example, the API, I've grouped them in a folder so people can be like, okay, those are the API calls. So yeah. And yeah, don't worry about writing lines of code. It is usually a weird metric which people shouldn't be using to justify code metrics and stuff like that. So a good example is recently I deleted 2 lines of code and then I added in 2 lines of code. If we were to go off that metric being like, all right, how much work did I do? That is a terrible metric, because what I did was I profiled the code. I figured out somewhere that had a factorial calling in a 2-layered for loop, and I realized that one particular function that was causing this factorial loop. So what actually happened, the loop started off as 1, and then the next loop it did 2, and then 3, and then 4, and so forth like that. So when you got that in a loop itself, it becomes factorial, it just increases. And I realized it didn't need to be called there, it just needed to be called outside of the initial loop. That took me a while to figure out and stuff like that. There was a lot of code reading, trying to figure out, hey, if I move these 2 lines, will it actually cause problems? And yeah, that was several hours of work, moving those 2 lines of code. So don't worry about how long it took to write 400 lines, because once again, those 400 lines might take 10,000 hours in the future. Alright, I'm hoping that made sense. What is my... alright, cool. So, you got a Australian Eastern Standard Time. So, I'm in Australia, the Australian Eastern Standard Time. It's currently 8:12. I schedule from 6:30 p.m. till 10. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So, yeah. I do have that in my schedule. Alright, I'm just going to have to mute myself straight away. Where is my... I did have a schedule somewhere. I swear to you, I had a schedule. 6:30 to 10 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yeah. So yeah. All right, we've got this looking very NearBeach. And once again, I'm not the best with UI UX, so please note this is the best as I can get with how to lay things out. So we've got the disable. That's all like that. We can go cancel. We've got the show codes. We need to fix the backup codes. That's our next sort of thing to do, but otherwise, yeah, it's just literally the backup tokens that we got to do. So going into here, we want to go into 2-factor. It might be easier just to write in backup view. No, all right, not a problem. We've got ways to figure this out. We're going to go into NearBeach. We're going to open up our NearBeach. We're going to open up our URLs 2-factor. We've got the disable. We've got the profile. We don't have the backup tokens. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy that one. Really? All right. Copy. Hang on. All right, give me 2 seconds. No, all right, that didn't work. I just wanted to see something. So this is part of core. And what we're going to do is we're going to go views, authentication, right hand click. We're going to go 2-factor. This will be backup tokens view.py. Then in here, what we're going to do from two-factor.views import the backup views token, and then from NearBeach.views this will be theme views import get theme. And then what we've got is we've got a class, and we're going to call it two-factor backup tokens view, and we're just backup tokens view like that. Now I don't know if we need the init, but we need this data in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to yank these 3 lines. It's going to be the exact same thing, and paste it in. These will go into like that. Yeah, and that's almost it. We just need to deal with this. So we're on line 37. All right, two-factor disable view, two-factor disable view. So that will now be 38. Hang on. Two-factor, did I marked that up? Yeah, not disable view. Two-factor backup tokens view. Alright, easy done. Once again, we're overriding this so we can pass information down into the front end, and watch, that should just go dark. Easy done. This will be as simple as, yeah, doing something like that. Alright, cool. I'm just going to put this as a simple card, separate these buttons, and call it a day. So yeah, that won't be too hard to actually implement. We need to get the backup tokens. So I'm going to go into the two-factor up here. We're going to go into the templates, two-factor. I think backup tokens.html. So under templates, we're going to need, not the NearBeach, we're going to want the two-factor core and then backup tokens HTML. Oh, looks like I've done it already. All right, sweet. So straight away, what we want to do is div class equals card. We want then div class equals card body. We then want this up in here. We then want to sort of set it up like this. Once again, I like setting up things like this. It's just easier for me to read. And then what I want to do is div class equals row. Div class equals col md4, and we'll figure out what we're going to do with that in a second. But this one is going to be 8. We are actually going to essentially, so from 22, that'd be so 22, boom, like that. We're gonna have it like that. And then what I want to do, strong backup tokens. And then if we go back into here and hit refresh, we can put some of this over here. So what we can do, b class equals text instructions. So backup tokens can be used when your primary and backup phone numbers aren't available. The backup tokens can be used for login verification. If you've used up all your backup tokens, you can generate, oh, that needs to be on a new line. Generate a new set of backup tokens. All right, so we need to move this little line somewhere else. If device to jet. All right, cool. We can do that right here. So that will be simple only the backup tokens shown below will be valid. And that's fine. That means I can delete this now. So we've got to be if that's laid out okay at the moment. Don't have backup codes, form. All right. So where am I going to put this one? So that closes the main, that closes that. All right, cool. Div class equals row. We'll fit the buttons in there in a second. Just give me, let me just do that. Div class equals col md 12, sorry. Okay, so this is just a simple form. We're gonna neaten this up. Form is P. All right. No, that doesn't work. All right. Okay, not a problem. This is why we test. So we're going to put the forms there. As you see, generate tokens. And then down here, what we're going to put is a simple a href equals URL profile information followed by a two-factor, and then what we can do is we can simply just do a class equals btn outline link, and then we just go back to account security. As simple as that. Oh, not link, info. Ugh. All right. There you go. The peak of my graphics design ability. It's not the best I know. So all of this is now done. We just now need to figure out how to deploy. yeah, we don't want a recap of what we did a couple of weeks ago where I accidentally sent something out with a mistake in it and the Docker container absolutely failed. So we're going to have to test on our local before deploying. So we've also got to see what changes we did. And that's very, very important. So yeah, but otherwise, if we go back to count security, we should go back here. We've got the show codes, once again, show codes. All right, sweet. All of this works. It's not 100% NearBeachian. Like a lot of this we could potentially do in a wizard. But yeah, at the moment, we just got this. Okay, you know. Okay, yeah, no, I like all that. I think this is at that point where it is actually done. So we haven't added in the reCAPTCHA yet. We'll need to actually do that, and that's going to be a bug. I'll need to disable that. Yeah. Alright, there's a bunch of to-dos to do. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down here. We are commenting out the reCAPTCHA section. So, this is to do re-implement the reCAPTCHA. The idea being is just to stop people from jumping in here and doing stuff. All right. Sorry, I'm just getting distracted with this at the moment. This is taking my whole entire world from me. Alright, cool. Alright, so reCAPTCHA we can't do at the moment. I need to sort of test it. So I think I've got it as a critical bug. Yeah, we've got it as a critical bug. So I think next stream I will tackle all of these. So next stream we're going back to fixing all the bugs and be like, yay! Which would be nice to do. I do need to do some other things in here. I just realized, not a problem. Yeah, a lot of this. Sorry, I'm just having a quick think about how I can do it. Some of these things I can be like, should I push back to 0.32? But I'm like, no, I should set them up, and that way, when I deploy 0.32, I'm just changing the endpoint to the API and not worrying about anything. Yeah, all right, cool. Sorry, I was thinking about this one here, because we've implemented the search functionality and all that kind of stuff, but we've just decided to replace it all with with the API. So yay. Not a problem. Once again. Yeah, we got to do that. We got to fix that up. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of bugs and stuff like that when we go to 0.32. Just things, UI bugs, which we want to fix up. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to close all tabs. I'm going to go over into our console. We're going to go remove static. We're going to git status, git add, git commit, and we're going to say finalize the two-factor authentication. All right, so we're rather happy with how this is done. And hey, Nocturnal, how are you? And sorry, keybeat.com, Tailwind. I have used Tailwind before. We don't actually have Tailwind in NearBeach. We're using Bootstrap, but I do use Tailwind on our marketing site. So you'll see that this is absolutely yanked from Tail blocks and stuff like that. So yeah. And sorry, I didn't see your message because one of my... Oh, that's weird. Yeah, it's just a bit locked in. But also my chat didn't update. It's a bit weird. Alright. I'm debugging a major issue. Oh no. I'm doing a release in a couple of minutes. Actually, it'll be in half an hour. Alright, so I want to go over here. I want to go git flow finish, and then I want to smush. So I'm just double checking the command for that. Git flow finish squash. Sorry, not smush. And then in here, I am going to write in implementation of the two-factor authentication for NearBeach. We're just going to do that. And then we're going to get a push into our development stuff. Now, for deployment, I've got to find out what changes I did to get it working on our Docker environment. Now, I can... how am I doing? I'm doing good. Socks is a little angry at the moment because she keeps bumping into Paddy. Every now and then, he's deciding to slowly look into the study, so where I am, from the door. It's really adorable and cute. However, Socks does not like it. I'm hoping she calms down. I think one day she'll just stop meowing and fussing. Anyway, I'm going to close this window as we don't need it anymore. What we need to do is we need to go to GitHub NearBeach. I'm just going to compare. I'm not going to do the pull request just yet. So having these in here, NearBeach requirements.txt, we need them in here also. So it's just one of those weird things. Where it just needs it in two different places. One's for the developers and one's for the Docker build. Yeah, this window hasn't reloaded. Oh, there we go. Yeah, they're going to need a... Yeah. And I think that's what Paddy's doing. He's coming in, he's just staring at Socks and trying to figure her out and stuff like that. He doesn't hiss back. He hasn't been hissing back. And yeah, my boys are brothers and they still go through periods of around the change of seasons. Yep. Alright. Yeah, we removed that from the login. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. New file, new file, new file, new file, new file, all that kind of new file. We've also got the settings file. In fact, there's going to be a quicker way for me to actually do this. Watch. Oh, I can't unless I add in the oh. I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to create a pull request. All right, files changed. All right, I viewed. Yep, 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 I viewed. I viewed. I viewed. All right, URLs. Yes, I viewed. URLs two-factor. Yeah, we're happy with that one. Yes. Authentication views. Oh yeah, we're quite happy with this particular one. Authentication login views. Yep, we're quite happy with that one. 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 This is for local settings. So this is what we've got to copy into our Django. That and the local URLs and stuff like that. So not a problem. So we'll come back to that one. The requirements are viewed. Okay, that's the profile information. Yep, we're happy with that one. The login SAS, yeah, we've absolutely gutted it. So we've got this now. So I'm just going to go to the NearBeach Docker. I'm going to go to this window. I'm going to terminate everything here. I'm going to do git pull. Git branch. Alright, now there was a trick which I did before to test everything's going to build. But first, let's close all tabs. Let's minimize everything. Let's open up NearBeach. Let's open up the Ocean Suite settings. So this installed apps. We'll have these in it. All right, actually, I need to have NearBeach open at the same time. I'm gonna go new window. I'm just gonna put that over here for a second. I'm just gonna go full screen. I can't see your chat on this image on this window. So local, I'm going to go settings. So REST framework we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the end. So we've got that, and then we need the Django so we need that after authentication, middleware, easy done. And then down at the bottom, we need a two-factor, yep. Easy done. All right, so two-factor login, yep. And then dashboard. That should all work perfectly fine. Once again, when we sort of go through the user experience of this and double check it and get some feedback and stuff like that. We'll tighten up this process because I feel like I can definitely implement this a lot better. Oops, I mucked that one up. That one's meant to be like that, and then that. So the URLs should be fine because we're pointing at the URLs. I'm just a little worried about this requirements.text two-factor auth. Oh, did I not push that? I did not push that. Django two-factor auth, two-factor auth. All right. That's how it wants it. Don't overly correct it. All right, cool. Git status, git add, git commit. What I want to do is add in the two-factor requirement. Add in the two-factor requirement. All right. Easy done. So I've got to cancel this one. I'm just going to go review changes. I'm definitely not. So conversation. This is forgot to add in one library into the requirement. Text. Close with comment. Not a problem. These things happen. Now, did I do a git push? Yes, yes, I did. Let's also at the same time git checkout main, git pull, git checkout develop. Git pull, git merge main, git push. All right, and what do I want to do? I want to yeah, we're going to test the Docker first. Okay, cool. So I'm jumping too far ahead on the deployment, and that is a bad thing to do. What I need to do is sit on it, double test everything first. So I want to go into here. NearBeach Docker setup. The following repositories meant to has the code for the Docker files. All right, NearBeach base. Yep. All right, cool. We've done all of that. NearBeach. All right, manually triggering new release. Yep, that's perfectly fine. Notes. It might be best to set this up in the future so it is manually triggered. Where we'll grab the version number from the. All right, cool. It's also best to actually condense the Docker file as we have multiple stages. So yep. All right, cool. It's possible. All right, cool. Build for local testing. Use the following code to create a local build of NearBeach. cd terminal into the directory, run the following command, cd build, no cache file, docker, tag, robotic head, NearBeach local dot. Use the Docker Composer example on it to modify the image to match the image. Yep, alright, cool. Sweet. So yeah, that's how we do it locally. Yeah, it's something we should have done last release, which I didn't do properly. Alright, cool. So, going here, we want to cd NearBeach docker. Okay, cool. And then I'm just clearing the page. We're just going to copy this. And we're just going to paste it. And this should have all the latest NearBeach stuff in it. Now, I do know there is a way of connecting this to the local files and stuff like that, but I'm not going to bother. Hey, Socks, are you pushing on me because you want some love? You go, love. Alright. Yeah, I swear to you, I'm just refreshing my chat. I'm sorry if I've missed any chat. It looks like the chat isn't working. I wonder if it's working here. Yeah, it was all on different. Yeah, it was weird. Alright, I'm just going to go over here because we have our Docker stuff here. So we've got our images, we've got NearBeach, robotic head NearBeach local, and base local. Alright, cool. So that one warning found, Jason args recommendation recommended for to prevent unintended behavior related to OS signals, line 22. New version 1 alert is available. Installed alert. Log in with your. Alright, cool. Alright, we don't have any of that at the moment, but we're going to try and get that sorted again. Alright. Hang on, sorry, I wanted to do this, I wanted to cd, I wanted to do ls, I want to docker compose scripts, I want to ls, I want to do NearBeach docker test, I want to do ls, I want to do vim docker compose. We've got the basic sort of stuff in here. Alright, cool. We want docker compose up. Hang on, there's been 2 weeks. Yeah, up and then D. Little d. All right. All right. Making sure I'm not running it. Yep, that's good. I don't know the admin username or password, so I'm just going to go back to the Vim because we should have it in here, NearBeach. We need to do the forgotten password and all that kind of stuff. All right. I think this will work. Yeah, I think this will work. Okay, let's go through the deployment process. And don't worry about the credentials in here. These are all for my local sort of stuff. So, yeah, those aren't real. In fact, I don't think they even work. One way to tell. Not Kanban board. Let's go new project. Yeah, failed. 400. Bad request. Even though it's a server 500 error, something's gone wrong. Please contact. Yeah, it's because it can't actually contact the. If we go into diagnostic information, upload test does not work because it can't contact those credentials. I'll need to actually have that come back properly. Need to have that come back with the proper errors and all that kind of stuff in the near future. So yeah. All right, going back over here, I'm just going to stop this. We're quite happy with it. I did say stop. Just going to delete it. It's a test sort of thing, so it's perfectly fine. What we need to do is we need to go into NearBeach and read the docs. We need to go into procedures, deployment on NearBeach. All right, cool. I am going to close this. Going to close this. We're going to close this now. I'm going to exit. Yep. All right, cool. So I'm going to cd sites NearBeach. We're going to npm audit. Found 0 vulnerabilities. All right, npm run prod. So we've got a bunch of updates and all that kind of stuff. Security updates, like the libraries that have been updated. We rerun the Docker base this morning automatically, so that's going good. And then what we need to do is, after this, npm run e2e. Realize that we don't actually have it running. Give me a couple of seconds. Source VM bin activate. Python 3 manage run server. Didn't you open one? Because I closed one of your PRs lately, like I merged it in. Oh, another one. All right. Yeah, cool. Easy done. Thank you. All right, we're running this so that it works in the Docker. Yep. All right. Okay, we have some issues. Oh. Okay. Not a problem. I think we've got to update our test. So if I go localhost this and we right-hand click on here and we go inspect, yeah, we've just got to update our tests. So So yeah, that's just part of how this works. In the near future, once again, we'll probably have a look at seeing if we could do this through VueJS and all that kind of fun stuff and get this all working nicely. And we'll probably get a better login screen. I'll look up some designs and stuff like that for that. Yeah, but for the moment, I've just got to update the test. So give me a couple of seconds. I've got to go PyCharm again. I'm going to open it up. Alright, we're bumping this over here. We're fine with that. We'll just go. Alright, so we're in NearBeach at the moment. We're just going to go cancel. We're going to go to minimize everything. We're going to open up this. We're going to open up our test. We're going to open up our end-to-end test. We're going to open up our auth setup. Now, this is going to be pasted in like this. And then the passwords are going to be the same. And then if I go back to here, I'm gonna rerun it again, and don't you dare cause trouble, socks. Hopefully this works better. Because, yeah, the last thing I want to do is release another thing and I've broken something. So I'd rather these tests go through and fix these up. Alright, we've got a bunch of tests that did not pass. I don't believe that. Saying failed 6. Ah, the button. Alright, not a problem. That's going to be called next. We're going to rerun that. Okay. We'll see what these are coordinates in a moment. We've got ads coming up. Alright, so what we've got is we've got some errors. However, that being said, it's down to 3. Authenticate user admin, wait for localhost, that to run. I feel like it works for everything else. Yeah, I feel like it worked for everything else. And then the mobile threader, this is the team leader, so we've not logged in as the team leader, but that's perfectly fine. Team leader, log in. It's because we've added it in the QA team, and that's it. So, judging from these particular bugs, not bugs, failed things, we can say, yeah, this is pretty fine. Technically didn't fail anything. Cool. So I'm happy with that. Let's get out of that. We did do npm run prod. We do that. Check all the screenshots. Yeah, we better check all the screenshots. All right, that's mobile format. That's fine. Also on mobile format. I didn't. All right, not a problem. All right, so I'm gonna say this is fine. I'm gonna go git status, git add everything, git commit, and then we're gonna look up the what current version we're on. So updated 10 days ago. So we'll be on 0.31.66. So for the rest of this month, we'll probably, because we've done the two-factor, what else did we want to do? I'll have a quick look at what else we wanted to, we wanted to implement some of the API stuff. So yeah, moving forward, it looks like we're going to be doing quite a number of bug releases and API fixes very, very quickly. So I can see a number of releases happening over the next week. So yeah, but anyway, we've done that. We do git push. So we're kind of happy with all of that. We didn't check out Circle CI though. Oh. Hold off on the upgrade then? No, fair enough. What version are you on? Alright, we have something breaking. And I should check this before I push that change. No, I did. Oh, fair enough. Testing the back end. Oh, all right. Fair way behind. Ah, fair enough. Ooh, we got a bunch of E's. All right. Test save task with bad form. All right. All right. I've got to update the tests to reflect the new method and stuff like that. I'm going to say that should be perfectly fine. Oh, 0.31.59. Not too far behind. Yeah. Because yeah, what's this? 66? Yeah, you're not too far behind. It has been a couple of months because remember the API took a while and so has the two-factor. So yeah, we haven't pushed too many bug fixes, which, hey, moving forward from the rest of this month is bug fixes and API fixes. So yeah, we'll probably end up having, in the next fortnight, we'll probably end up having 4 or 5 releases. So I think I honestly think we'll get up to patch 100 in the 31st branch. So yeah, that'll be good. Can't log in at work due to conflicting IPs. Ah, yep. Fair enough. So I think these tests are failing. And it honestly looks like it's the same error over and over and over again. Because we've changed how the login works and stuff like that. Is kind of broken those. I should have picked this up earlier. I'm going to say the tests will be fine. And we should still move on. Or we can fix the tests right now. Alright, and welcome back everyone. So, what's going on is we're hitting that one test. To see if the user is active. And what we've done is we've posted the credentials to the login. However, that being said, because we've actually changed all of that sort of stuff, this just doesn't work at the moment. However, that being said, we should fix this. We should definitely fix this. So, let's go with some data. Let's move this over here. Let's duplicate this now. I should pick this up. Sorry, I should pick this up a long time ago. And let's say failed 52. So if I change this one. So we've got the self.credentials. Self.credentials, we just need to change this one particular line. And if we go into the NearBeach login, I should have it running locally. Once again, we should have auth user, auth username, and auth password. I think I just need to change that. So, if that worked, we should now see 51 issues. $52 issues still. Let's try the bottom one. Task saved with bad form. So we're going to minimize this. We're going to open up our NearBeach. We're going to open up our tests. We're going to open up our... Ooh, where is that one called? NearBeach test views, test task. Test views, test task. Test... Alright. Feels like I'm falling down. So if I go auth username and auth password, it might actually have to be ID. So I'm going to go ID. ID. Alright, and we're going to test this. Test save, test save test with bad form. Damn. Alright. Alright, not a problem. We'll jump over here. What we'll do is I will bump this to the left. We'll have the network open. We'll have the persistent logs, and I'll type in admin, admin, and I'll hit next. Yeah, sent all of that. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this. And they do have it as auth username and auth password. However, that being said, we might need to spread this out like this. And then we're just going to test it out. So 52 is the magic number. We're getting a lot of E. And we've got 48. That's it. All right. Not a problem. This can be fixed really, really fast. So what we can do is we go... it'll be self-credentials equals... be something like this. It'll just be easier to open up every single file. And then we do that, and then we just yank the 5. Actually, there must be a vim replace one line with multiple lines. Oh yeah, no, I can do this even better. Let's do this smart. Because this will be the exact same throughout the whole entire test suite. So what we want to do, find, replace in files. We're going to paste this. We are going to copy this. I sometimes do not like how this is set up. All right. Those are all just in tests. All right, we've only got one E so far. All right, we've got a bunch of E's. But it looks like we've knocked out a lot of the fail tests here. We're down to 16. That's not a problem. All right, cool. So, test permission denied. Test permission denied. So I'm going to shrink that. I'm going to open up NearBeach. I'm going to open up tests. I've got NearBeach test views, test authentication, test permission denied. Ah, we don't have the thing in there. Yeah, that's all. All right, so test user permission. All right, so we've got NearBeach test user permission, test user permissions, test user permission. And yeah, we've just got the, okay, cool. So what I'll do, yank those 5, I'm going to paste those in. I'm going to delete that one line and do that. And then redirect users, log in. All right, cool. That one's perfectly fine. And then we've got up here, test user permission, test user permission, test. I'm just going to rerun this. We'll come across any more. All right, so we got one. A socks. Sorry, I read 6 and socks at the same time. All right. So NearBeach test views, test authentication. Test authentication, yep. Test permission denied. I know. And then, sorry, I've got NearBeach test views, test authentication, test permission denied. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Test authentication. Test permission denied, yep. Test permission denied, test permission denied. Oh, users will be logged in. Login user. Credentials. All right. I'm making an open source project management system called NearBeach. So yeah, we're currently fixing up the tests. So we've recently just changed the, we've implemented two-factor authentication, which of course has changed a few things around, and our tests just have to follow suit. So yeah, not a problem. This is credentials. That should all be fine. So the user should be logged in and they should be getting 403. Yeah. Just gonna scroll back down. False is not true. Oh. All right, we've done this one a bit differently. Can you explain, is this a game dev or web dev? Web dev. Project management, web dev. All right, I've mucked up something in here, so I'm just going to use this other test for a reference. So we've got the login user. In fact, I'm going to do the test search one because I know that one works. So this one, yes, socks. So the credentials, wrong password. There we go. All right, let's run these tests. No, I don't. However, if I ever had enough money to retire and stuff like that, that is something I would probably end up doing. Building a little tiny game. More of a Doom clone type of thing. But yeah, no experience. However, that being said, there's plenty of information out there. Depends what you want to build. All right, so we failed 10. Now this is saying test task permissions. I'm just going to copy this. It's going to be 10 times easier if I just go to it directly. So this is under test user permissions. All right, test task permissions. Okay, cool. Line 200, test user permissions. Test user permissions, line 200 in task edit. Login user. All right, cool. Let's have a look. Login user, where is our credentials? We've got the proper test $1, $2, $3, $4. Admin. Yeah, well, that should be right. Let's rerun this. All right. Oh. Yeah. All right. Team member permission test. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Team member. Here we go. Yeah. All right. Cool. So I've got a couple of tests in here. So I want to yank these 5 lines. I want to go down here. I want to go to the team member this test and be like, all right, cool. I'm going to paste that. Going to yank these 5 lines again. See our next class in here, and be like, all right, there's our credentials. I'm just going to paste those. Credentials, yep. There we go. All right, I was getting a bit confused there. It's not easy, these tests sometimes, how they're written out, and or how the failed outcomes happen. It's a bit, but not a problem. We're just working through these very quickly. None of our code has to change, which is good. That famous last word though. So team leader permission test under yep. All right, cool. Assert error 200 does not equal 403. So what I want to do is go to line 151. So this is the Kanban information. And I've realized what I've just done. That will be this will be team member, team intern, and this is admin. All right, cool. Dangers of copying and pasting sometimes. And the field of the year of Alan. I nearly said field of Alan. I swear to you that it's the text. I don't know if that's an L or an I. How are you doing? I'm trying to think of a bear pun and I just can't. I can barely think of anything. It's low. It's low. I know. All right, let me give you a shout out. So, the Ed of Alan also streams here on Twitch. So, yeah, give them a follow. You're doing good. How's your side of the stream? It's going good. Well, good as in, like, I'm trying to fix up my tests. So, we've implemented 2-factor authentication, which, of course, changes a few things. And I forgot to change the tests to reflect those changes. Nothing too critical. Famous last words, of course. So test admin login, admin new instance test admin login. Int value, int argument must be a string, a byte. Okay, no, I know why this is not working. It's because we need to go into here. Let's yeah, I've got to fix that up too eventually. Admin. No, it shouldn't, because we're dealing with fixtures. This is part of the new instance check. Not a simple lazy object. Okay, we can replicate this. So what I can do is I can go into here, I can search for it. So we've got test new instance. And this is part of yeah, this completely fails. Look at it fail. Alright. Test admin login. We do have the admin login and password and stuff like that. So admin user or alright. I think it's probably the fixture. So I'm rebuilding the fixture. So what we want to do, Python 3, manage load data, and then we want to go NearBeach fixtures. We want to give NearBeach no setup. And then Python 3 manage migrate, just in case there's any migrations to apply. And then what we need to do is Python 3 manage dump data. Format is going to be JSON, indent is going to be 2, and we want to do it in there. So then Python 3 manage test. However, that being said, it's probably going to come up with an error straight away. No. Alright, cool. But the good thing is we actually have, we can test this manually and be like, alright, cool, it's the test that needs to be rewritten. And we put it in as a bug to be rewritten. Alright. So if I hit reload again, go admin from the site. Oh, yes. Actually, this is a major bug. Okay, so permission set change user must be over user instance. Alright, I know exactly where that is. That's why we have fixed tests. So my famous last words being like, oh yeah, we haven't needed to make any code changes. Well, issue items fixed tests is one of my favorite. Yep. Or better, code works, fixed text. Yep. Well, in this sort of case, I have made boo-boo, and I need to fix it up very, very quickly. So we need under authentication, we have authentication, two-factor. So it used to be this. So check first time login. And in here, we have request.user. So that's where it's failing. So if I go back into here, let's kill this. Let's actually run this as debug. Let's go back to login. Let's type in admin, and I am going to hit the debug here. So we've hit this. I think this request user is not an instance. It's an anonymous user. All right. Not what we want. So I know exactly where this problem is. So if I go stop, I go up here, I click on the wrong thing, I click on this, I want to get it from here. So we need to check the reCAPTCHA. We actually need to do the auth before first time login. Needs to occur before first time login. Otherwise, user cannot be obtained from request. All right, easy done. Famous last words. However, down here, if the user group chat equals 0, we reset everything and we return back to the first step. We have to auth.log out request equals self.request. Okay. We should run these tests well before we actually jump into to that commit, but oh well. So going on to this, we now have the user. And this is why we got unit tests. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this, not run the service, sorry, wrong command. I'm going to run the tests again. We're going to try and hope for the best. So it's got rid of one of the E's. And it's passed everything. So this is why you would do unit tests and end-to-end tests and stuff like that. So we've made a massive sort of change. And through that change, yes, we did actually submit a bug, but we've fixed it. So what we want to do, git status, git add, git commit. What we did was upgrade tests to match new 2FA requirements for login, plus fix to first time login. So we get push. All right. So going over here now. I'm going to have a look at our pipelines. We're going to get this working again. So we've got a couple of failed, which is not nice. I need to check this before I do more submits and stuff like that. Like, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm just quickly doing the cube. What do we want to do? We're waiting for these tests to run. Now, I'm going to check the failed tests to see if any of the front-end stuff works perfectly fine. So we know the end-to-end tests are working. We know that is working. We know that the other thing is working. I'm happy to deploy this. However, we've just hit an ad break. How's everyone going? Hopefully you're going well. So yeah, almost finished for the night, which is nice. Yeah, and then we just got a plan for the next week and so forth like that. So yeah, once again, I think a lot of bug bug fixes and API tweaks and stuff like that. So, yeah, I reckon we'll get another 5 out. Now, the real question is, are we going to hit patch 100? I think we will. Part of me says yes, but also part of me says no. I think it's close. So, yeah. Okay, almost done with this. Okay, so we've still got 30 seconds left of ads. Bear with me, sorry. Easy done. This is just getting done very, very quickly. And welcome those on YouTube. We're running ads on Twitch. You won't get ads, so don't worry. We'll be back in about 10 or less seconds. We should be back around about now. Welcome back, everyone. All right, cool. So we've fixed that issue. We've got all the tests running. This is running. The backend build is all done, so that's going to pass flying colors. So I can close that. I can close this because we're all happy with all of this now. I'm glad that I checked everything. I can close that. I can stop that. I can go to NearBeach or GitHub. We can go to our develop. We can do a open pull request. We'll do a compare first. Yep. All right. Cool. Cool. Create pull requests. So new features. Implementation of the two-factor authentication. Users can now add either token or email to FA. Pretty easy sort of stuff. We're going to create that pull request. Deep source is happy. Oh well, it was happy. Oh God, no. No. It was happy. Now it's just doing its thing. We're going to merge without any problems. Yeah, we're going to be naughty. Now, here comes the tricky part. So the instance I do a release, I've got to wait for the action to deploy it, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump on to my Docker file. I'm going to compile a new version and quickly test that before it does the release fully. So this will be 0.31.66. Will it show the picture? All right, cool. Just because it's 0.31.66. All right, so it says pre-release, create the thing. So when I hit this button, I'm going straight to the actions, and we're going to find out we're going to find this one out. So deploy NearBeach usually doesn't take that long. It takes about a minute or two. Whilst that's happening, I'm going to bump this over onto NearBeach Docker. I'm going to go to this window. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to open up the README. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. So yeah, it should use the latest one whenever we build this. So if we go Dockerfile, it should pip install NearBeach. So yeah, it'll do the latest one. But once this one is done, okay, it's almost done. We'll get this ready. I'll also make sure that we don't have any of the images and stuff like that. So we do have images. I just want to, once again, this is on my local. This is a dev computer. This is perfectly fine. All right, cool. Almost done. All right. Sorry, we're literally just going to play the waiting game now. So what I'm doing is I'm going to test the NearBeach will work. Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm going to do before the deployment actually goes out this time. There we go. It is done. What we can do, I can wait a couple of seconds for it to be finish. What we can actually do is we can go to pypi.org. We can type in NearBeach. We can check out NearBeach, and then latest version is 66. All right, cool. So this will build the 66 version 66. All right, so that was really fast. I did have no cache on. Now, what we want to do is in here, we want to go CD. We want to go into we want to go into Docker, and I want to vim the Docker Compose tests. We don't have the latest. Oh, that was my mistake. Before that. All right, that should be latest local. Like that. Alright, that did create it. It is up and running. But there is an issue with it. And this is what I was afraid of. No module name, Django one note. Alright, cool. So what I'm going to do is it failed to deploy to the static files. All right, awesome. And the Bob I know, how are you going? So it looks like we need to fix this. This is what I was afraid of. But I'm glad that the static files failed, and I know why they failed. It's because it couldn't collect, yeah, no module name, Django one-time password. So I'm just going to jump off to NearBeach. I'm going to go to this window. I'm going to minimize everything. I am going to go into the requirements. don't have it in here. That's why. That's why everything broke. Alright. After requirements. Alright. I'm just thinking how I can fix this. I mean, I can log in, no. Ugh. Yeah, I forgot to put that in. Alright, I should have double checked all the documentation. This is all my fault. So Django to factor auth. Installed apps, yeah, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we need to... Hang on. It should be finding it. It should be installing it because of this. Am I forgetting a key step again? I think I gotta put it in here. Alright, give me a minute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to log into PyPI, see if I can delete the package off completely. This is... I don't have my oh, it's at the top. Oh, no wonder why. God, I wish this was in alphabetical order. There we go. All right, cool. I guess people can see this. Alright, that should not be there. That should be deleted. Yeah. Yeah, I'll eventually delete this one. Because yeah, that's going back like 2019. Where I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to create it as a plugin. So if we go into manage, options, what's yank? What's the difference between yank? What if I just delete? This action cannot be done. You will not be able to re-upload a new distribution of the same type and the same version. Oh, damn it! Relying on the pinned version of this package is intended as last resort to address legal issues or remove harmful. Consider yanking. Alright, cool. Yank reason, Django one-time password not placed. And of course I won't be able to use that version, most likely. One way I can test that very, very quickly is I can go to Actions, click on this, and rerun. It's going to fail on the second one no matter what, but it'll fail on the first one. Alright. Doing all this testing, and I just screw up, don't I? Okay. But I should start documenting quite a lot of this stuff and be like, hey, this is what happens when you have a new file. You need to make sure it's in these particular 3 locations, and stuff like that. Even if it's just a checklist. And hang on a minute, what? No, that worked. No, that didn't. No, that worked. Or did it just update this? Alright, no, I'm going to do it properly. So let's go back into NearBeach. This should now install everything in here that we need. So what I'm going to do, git status, git add, git commit, include Django one-time password within installation library template. Great fun when you release something broken. So we're going to go into our develop branch. So we've added that, we've added that, and we've added that. All right, cool. This is... cool. So, actions should have been started. This is yanked now. We can just go into here. Latest version is this particular one. I am disappointed that I screwed up that. Yeah, not fun. All right, at least we've got a commit activity of 27 per month. That's pretty good, you know. I still don't believe the downloads at 3.6k a month. I very much doubt that. I'm gonna fix up the deep source thing and the circle CI thing. Yeah. Alright, so it should have deployed. So, yep. Now, this will give us an early indication that things have failed, but I am also going to go over here. I'm going to trash... Hang on, before I trash the wrong thing, because I don't want to trash our Minio setup. I'm going to trash that. We've got Robotic Head, NearBeach. Yep, alright, cool. We're going to trash that. We are going to go back over here. We're going to go back into our Docker. We're going to go to this window. We're just going to hit up on the key. So no cache, la la la. Yep, cool. We're just going to build it very, very quickly. It won't take long to build. Looks like this is going. So it's collecting the static files. And all right, so that's been built. We're going to go back over here. We're going to run our Docker Composer up, which will be using our local staff. And if we go localhost, as I said, there's still a problem. I think there's still a problem. No, I was just too keen. It's running. All right. Cool. Now, because the CDN isn't up and running, we don't get those images. We'll actually get a bunch of 404s. If you guys ever see that and you're like, oh, what if I don't want to use the CDN? You can use, you just go and put in debug equals true. And that should rerun that. That's right, connection was reset. Alright, not a problem. We're getting way too into it. It's just rerunning the thing. So yeah, as NearBeach gets bigger and bigger and bigger, it is going to take about 30 seconds to sort of spin up. I'm hoping to change that in the future. I'm hoping to come in and make it lean again. Alright, cool. So there it is. All done. This is version 67. Yeah, bit of a pity that I screwed up 66. I'm going to have to make some documentation on reminding me whenever I deploy with a new library, I've got to include it in a couple of spots. So, yeah. I mean, I could have manually fixed that. I could have pushed everything and so forth like that and get it to work, but it wouldn't have worked with those who were using NearBeach Metal. So, yeah. Anyway, it is 10 o'clock. We've done a lot tonight. Let's raid. Now, I know... Oh, have they, Okay, they're not running anything. Oh, unassess. I'm just seeing what other people are doing. Alright, I've got a second laptop which I'm just jumping on and seeing what other people are doing at the moment. So I'll just keep it on this page at the moment. So we have hashgen. Got annotators. Yeah, let's go annotative today. All right. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for coming tonight. Well, I'm especially glad that the 2FA has been released. Let me just turn this music off. So yeah, no, it's great. What's going to happen next is we're going to implement some changes to the API, see if we can actually improve it. We've got some feedback with the API, which yeah, will be great to improve. We've got some bugs to actually do. And yeah, it looks like we're on track with getting stuff done this month, which is great to actually hear and do. Yeah, and a lot of API stuff, a lot of bug stuff and stuff like that. So yeah, I do hope you enjoy Anna says dev now. So yeah. And those on YouTube, thank you very much for coming along, and I hope to see you next time. So yeah, thank you.